MIRAI Corporation. Overview of Fourth Fiscal Period Results. Section 1. Summary of Fourth Fiscal Period Results. DPU for the fourth fiscal period increased by 11% from the previous fiscal period to reach 5,807 yen. The full period contribution of Tokyo Front Terrace and disposition gain pushed DPU higher. This was 207 yen above the guidance announced at the previous results announcement. The acquisition of 3 hotels in March and an improvement in utility expenses were the main reasons behind the higher-than-expected DPU. On the back of the strong office leasing market, assets under management are operating at almost full capacity. The occupancy of hotel assets has also reached 100% following the leasing of vacant space in Sunroute Niigata. The investment unit price maintained an upward trend during the fourth fiscal period and recovered the IPO price of 183,000 yen in early 2018. The investment unit price surpassed NAV per unit, which led to the first PO since listing. DPU from next fiscal period is expected to be 5,600 yen. While the disposition gain from the fourth fiscal period will drop off, the additional acquisition of assets through PO and the commencement of leasing at MIRAI will contribute to higher stabilized DPU. Stabilized DPU guidance remains the same as in the previous announcement. However, the stability and sustainability of DPU has improved due to the further diversification of rent income sources through portfolio expansion. Section 2. Highlights of the fourth fiscal period. During the fourth fiscal period, MIRAI continued active management with the aim of improving unit holders' value. Specifically, further risk diversification was achieved through asset replacement and portfolio expansion, stabilizing the operation of the portfolio asset and strengthening the financial standing. The partial stake in Shinagawa Seaside Park Tower, which was the largest asset in the portfolio, was disposed of, and it was replaced with Tokyo Front Terrace and Nippo Honmachi Building as planned. Following this initiative, the asset concentration risk was significantly reduced. Since the start of the fourth fiscal period, 6 assets worth 17.2 billion yen were acquired, including acquisition through PO. AUM has expanded to 122.2 billion yen. Asset and tenant diversification, as well as the stability of stabilized DPU, improved through asset replacement and the acquisition of new assets. During the fourth fiscal period, a rent reduction request was received at a retail property. Leasing activity was carried out concurrently while negotiating with the existing tenant. Given the competitiveness of the tenant and the situation regarding demand in the area, as well as the stability of leasing contract, MIRAI has decided to replace the tenant. Although the rent declined compared to the previous tenant, the decline of the rent and downtime were minimized, with proactive leasing from an early stage. Approximately a quarter of MIRAI's portfolio comprises single-tenant properties such as retail properties and hotels. Leasing stability is pursued by adding certain restrictions on rent revisions and cancellations before maturity into the contract. We work to ascertain the operational status of each tenant through regular interviews, even for properties with long-term fixed rent contracts. There have been no requests for rent reductions or cancellations at this time, and MIRAI will continue to work toward portfolio stability. During the fourth fiscal period, MIRAI, which had undergone renovation work and leasing activity, reopened after remodeling. The opening ceremony was attended by the governor of Nara Prefecture and the mayor of Nara City, and it got off to a smooth start, welcoming approximately 30,000 visitors on the first day of reopening. On the other hand, there were delays in the opening of Round 1 Stadium, which will be one of the largest in the country, and Shimamura, which is able to attract a large number of families. The full opening is expected to be in August, including the drop-off and pick-up facility for tour buses. The current rent breakdown is 58% fixed rent, 6% fixed and variable rent, and 34% completely variable rent. MIRAI aims to achieve the upside by targeting tourists and inbound tourists in addition to the day-to-day demand of local residents. MIRAI has completed 7.7 billion yen of capital raising, which was announced on May 8th. Total unit holders' capital reached 59.6 billion yen. LTV was lowered to 48%, creating approximately 5 billion yen of acquisition capacity. An additional issuer credit rating of A, stable, has been obtained from R&I for the potential issuance of investment corporation bonds in the future and for the improvement of credit. MIRAI's forecast DPU yield is the highest among the J-REITs with the same credit rating. MIRAI will continue to implement active and unique IR activities in order to improve recognition among investors and win support for management and operation. As a result of this active operation, the midterm management plan has progressed significantly during the fourth fiscal period, and the target for spring 2020 is likely to be achieved ahead of target. MIRAI will continue to manage the assets with the aim of improving the unit holders' value while keeping in mind the sustainable growth of DPU and NAV. Section 3. Summary. How was the fourth fiscal period operation?
So much happened, from the replacement of assets to additional acquisition, PO, tenant replacement, and the opening of MIRAI. First, we diversified the portfolio by replacing assets and enlarged the portfolio with acquisition through PO.
We therefore made significant progress in risk diversification, which had been an issue for us. By the way, how is the performance of the existing assets?
In the central Tokyo area, the vacancy rate is below 3% for the first time in 10 years, and there is strong demand. MIRAI's office portfolio has occupancy of above 99%.
Almost full occupancy.
On the other hand, we received a rent reduction request for a retail property due to intensified competition.
To accept the rent reduction request or to replace the tenant? Which is the better choice for MIRAI?
We succeeded in concluding a long-term contract with a tenant with strong operation and stabilized the operation while minimizing the rent reduction. MIRAI also commenced operation in April as scheduled. MIRAI's DPU has been growing steadily on the back of the success of risk diversification and active management.
Keep up the good work. The end.